Hello. Well, today we're just going to talk about the installation of a soft spring. Well, this is nice and intimate, isn't it? So a soft spring is a little modification that you can make to your airbrush where you install a softer spring in the air valve of the airbrush and it reduces trigger finger fatigue. A few tongue twisters in this video. So a soft spring reduces trigger finger fatigue. But otherwise, it's just a modification that you can make just to make things easier for you. Now to the naked eye, you can just see that there are just slightly a few more windings on the aftermarket soft spring as what there are on the original. And you may be able to tell from this that the ones on the original are slightly thicker as well. When you just test it by hand, you can just feel that the aftermarket spring is just slightly harder than the new soft springs. Where do you get them? Well, you'll be able to find them at the School of Realism or Foxy Studio. They're the only two places that I know of which you can get soft springs from. But yeah, those two places. I'll include the links in the video description or on the tutorial page on airbrushtutor.com. The equipment that you're going to need for this tutorial is pretty basic. You can either get the exact tool required to take out this little thread on the bottom of the air valve, or I also have some tweezers. These are called precision tweezers, but any sort of tweezers that will actually get in there will do the job. Or perhaps you could be more creative and find something else to work for you. So let's go ahead and why don't we change these over and just have a little feel of the difference. So the first thing we need to do is to undo this little thread that you may or may not see at the bottom of the airbrush here. So this is where we would use the special tool, or in my case, I don't have it, so I'm just going to use precision tweezers. All you have to do is to get the two edges of the tweezers here and twist, just like that. Now the first gun that I'm installing the soft spring into is an iWater Eclipse HP side feed. This is my go-to gun. This is what I use most of the time. And I thought it would be cool to install a soft spring because the ones that they use are quite hard. It's stuck on my finger. Get off, get off. So that's a little piece that unscrews from the bottom of the air valve there. This is my typical Eclipse iWater spring, which is different to the Micron spring. A little bit of resistance there. So all we need to do is to grab our little soft springs that we've got. You'll notice it's a different color. There's one that I've done before. It's like a brass color, and these new ones is like a steel color. Now all we have to do is to replace it. Just put the spring in there, grab my little piece here, pop it in the top, apply a little bit of pressure here, make sure the thread's correct, and screw the little sucker on. Don't know why I'm having so much trouble. Just make sure that it's screwed all the way up or down and feel the difference that it makes. There is a huge difference. Obviously there's not going to be any difference for pulling back on the trigger like this, but just for holding the air down just means that's the only real fatigue there is on your finger when you're pulling back for paint. But pressing down, just easy. So that's all changed over and I definitely can feel a big difference there. Like it just doesn't take any effort to push the trigger down at all. And that's it, a pretty quick little trick that you can use just to make things easier on your hand when you're painting. Anyway, I hope you've learned something new, got something out of it. Maybe you didn't know what soft springs were. Now you know. Just makes everything that little bit easier. As always, thanks for watching and always spread the love.